I may be a genius, but they should put a lid here and a lid here. That way, when you get to the bottom, you flip it. Get the extra peanut butter.
So I can't afford my gas, but you expect me to pay your gas. It doesn't make any sense to me. Especially the post office. How are you gonna charge me for my mail? This doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, how does this work?
Okay, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I hope all you guys are having a wonderful day. You already know, today we got some more strange videos we're going to be reacting to. If you want to show some support, don't forget to leave a like, comment, or subscribe, stuff like that. Maybe share the video. Always try to remember to keep your mind open and question everything, and I mean absolutely everything. But yeah, other than that, it's about to get weird. Let's get right to the video.
So Kroger put out a TV ad. Watch this.
Save big in every aisle at Kroger. Right now, USDA choice phone and ribeye.
Are those bugs crawling across that meat? I can't believe it. If you look,
I can't believe
right
it.
There. How did they miss that? That's disgusting.
I don't think they missed it. I feel like they had to have edited that in. Are they trying to make fun of us? I think they're making fun of us.
Just like Bulletproof George Washington. Have y'all heard of that?
Bulletproof George Washington. Go ahead, break that down for me.
Bulletproof George Washington is factual information from the different tribes who went to war with the British. They said, we shot this man hundreds of times and he didn't die.
Yep.
His horse died. His clothes with bullet holes in museums, but he didn't die. And
the president?
But yes.
With the wooden teeth?
Yes, but him.
Okay.
The man, they look up Bulletproof George Washington.
That sounds like there was multiple George Washingtons. They might have been making clones or something.
Something people know what the White House just pulled off, it's so get this. So, you know how they released the White House app to give everybody updates, got tons of downloads the first day, and they told everybody, and Apple even, that they weren't collecting any data. And yeah, well, some people reverse engineered the app. You're never gonna guess what they found out. They were using Russian servers to build persistent profiles on each user. Whether the app was open on your phone or not, they were taking your location data, your exact pinpoint location, logging in every 8 minutes, and building a profile on where you go. So what are you?
See, I thought they were the enemy. Like, why are they letting us use their servers? That don't make no sense to me. If they're the enemy, why would we even have that information on their server? I swear, they're all on the same team. And people need to quit fighting over it because they think there's different sides, but they're really all on the same team.
Now that food is starting to have binding legal agreements if you open the package. You're giving up part of your rights and you're agreeing to their terms if, let's say, you find something in the food that shouldn't be in the food. It reminds me of when Disney tried to argue that after this guy's wife passed away at a Disney park, that he didn't have a right to sue because he had signed up for Disney Plus, and in the Disney Plus streaming terms and conditions, it talks about Disney parks and Disney property. With all the safety recalls recently over food, if I see this on my food container, I'm just not opening it and I am returning it.
Who approved this? The U.S. is automatically adding every draft eligible man to the military list starting in December. So we talking about no more signing up for yourself, no more forgetting. The government just gonna start pulling names from the Social Security and from the driver license records and put you right on the list. It's no way around it if you're eligible. It's automatic. Done. This comes from the new National Defense Authorization Act that just passed. And I didn't even know about it. Did you? They said they're doing this to fix the low sign-up numbers because they said people is not trying to go to the military. They said recruiters are having a hard time trying to recruit people because nobody want to go fight. I know y'all remember them coming to the school and trying to recruit people as they're about to graduate, where they're saying people is just not fucking with them. When they're in the halls, they walking right past. So every guy between the ages of 18 and 25, you're automatically on that list if you're eligible. Women, y'all exempt. So that's good, right? So once again, who approved this? And also, down below in the comments, drop y'all thoughts. If you have a son that's 18 or 25, or if you're 18 or 25 watching this, let me know how y'all feel about this down below in the comments.
Some people didn't believe we were serious about the underground bunker that we have set up in a mine, but here we are. This is an old mine. It's been in the family for over 100 years. And we just decided to turn it into a bunker for all of our families and friends. And that's what we've done.
Big family.
Here's how we have everything stored. Everything we may need. We have full storage. We have food. We have all plumbing's ran, all electrical. Well, and we fit them in here, man. We know a lot of people. There's Dad's Airstream. That's my dad's Airstream.
Man, they're ready to go.
That's Uncle Tim. Uncle Tim lives in the little one. He's not too extravagant. You know, he's a man of little need. Right on.
What are you going to do with a boat, though?
We have tons of fishing around here, so we got a lot of boats. And as you see, it just goes on, man. Right on. That's Aunt Bertha. That's Uncle Tim's little sister.
And this guy has a big
we got some
family.
concession stands. We have it pretty much set up, man. We're ready for it. You know, we've been predicting what's coming for a long time.
This don't look like a mine.
So now here we are. It's a small city we have down under here. I'm going to keep the location private just because we don't want to get overrun by the people that weren't prepared. They should have been, but anyways, this is how it goes, man. You know, the strong will survive, and the smart ones. See ya.
So it's 2026 and we still can't fathom the fact that bubbles don't really act like this in space, yet we're supposed to believe that all of this is real. Well, I thought now would be a perfect time to remind you guys that NASA is actually being taken to court, and it's an ongoing court case of all of their fakery and deception and wasting of taxpayers' money. Check this out.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Today I'd like to bring to your attention
Wait, hold on. Who's taking them to court?
a potential fraud on an enormous scale happening in your county. There's now clear evidence of NASA using numerous methods to grossly mislead the public about astronauts being on the International Space Station. During interior ISS scenes from NASA's own live feed, the use of wires, harnesses, green screens, and virtual reality have been detected to achieve the appearance of a weightless environment. Examples of this include astronauts fading in and out of the screen, green screen glitches, grabbing objects that aren't really there, pulling on invisible wires, getting tangled in their harnesses, and even astronauts appearing out of thin air. This begs the obvious in and out of the screen, green screen glitches, grabbing objects that aren't really there, pulling on invisible wires, getting tangled in their harnesses, and even astronauts appearing out of thin air.
Oh my God.
This begs the obvious question. If they're really up there, why are they using Hollywood techniques to fake the footage? Now, unfortunately, I can't show you these clips in here today, but I will be sending them to you. Outside the International Space Station, during spacewalks, air bubbles have been recorded on numerous occasions. How is it possible for air bubbles to be present in the vacuum of space? I once questioned astronaut Scott Kelly about this phenomenon. His body language and answers only created more questions. In 2013, astronaut Luca Parmitano nearly drowned during a spacewalk when his helmet filled with water. This happened again just last year. Air bubbles, helmets filling with water, and drowning. Are they in space or are they underwater? Now, what's really interesting is that they trained for spacewalks in an underwater pool with a complete ISS replica. Now, surely they aren't filming these spacewalks in an underwater pool and then editing them to appear if they're in space, because that sure would be something, wouldn't it? I'm calling on the Brevard County Commissioners to open a full investigation into NASA's fraudulent practices and use of taxpayer dollars. It costs NASA $3 billion per year to operate the ISS, and if they don't have a darn good explanation as to why they're faking these videos, I and the public would like a darn good explanation as to where our tax money is going. And if they are indeed faking the funk, it is our duty to expose and eliminate this fraudulent and astronomically wasteful ISS program. And look, I know what you're all thinking. NASA is part of the federal government, and you're just county commissioners. Even if what I'm saying is true, what can you do? But let me remind you, not only is this happening in your county, as public officials, you have the platform and the ability to make a statement or hold a press conference.
I just now realized that this is from 2023, so I'm guessing that nothing has ever happened, which I don't know how. The evidence is insane. Like, the thing that annoys me the most is when people are like, oh, who cares? Who cares if they're lying about it? And try to play it off like it doesn't matter. It matters a lot, because if you don't know where you live, it just goes to show you like what's going on right now, how easily people are manipulated by it. So it's a very big deal to know where you live and what's really going on. Like, let's just say, for instance, that flat Earth is real, or the moon really is a reflection of Earth and we live in a crater. One of those theories is real. How do you even go about holding these people accountable for lying? Like, the lie is so big now, they gotta go with it to their graves, pretty much at this point.
And now this is probably one of the more sad things I've seen. The largest data center in the world is planned to be built in Ohio. It'll cost up to, $40 billion to construct, and it'll be 3,700 acre center that will require 10 gigawatts, or 1/3 of Ohio's entire power grid capacity to run. A third of an entire state's power capacity?
Well, if I turn into a zombie, you guys know who did it.
Hey, America. So today I delivered a load to a data center in South Carolina. And I'm going to tell you something about that data center that I seen. It looks like a prison. All right, listen to me. There's nothing but solid concrete walls and ventilation. I don't know why they would need something built like this for a data center, but I'm telling you now that these data centers have their own electric substations. I'm talking about with power cords, hey, to keep some stuff running, all right? But in all actuality, I'm telling you, these data centers look like encampments, concrete prisons. Now, I might be wrong. Maybe they're not. Maybe they really are data centers. But I'm looking at data centers that they're going to have computers that hold data. And these places are the size of 10 Walmarts. All right? Like, how many servers must you have to where these are coming up all around the country? One of these data centers look like it should be able to hold the information of everyone in this country 100 times over. But they're popping up everywhere. Everywhere. Okay? And I'm telling y'all, I've seen some jails. I've seen some prisons. Listen to me. I don't think these no data centers. I'm honestly feeling like there's going to come a time where some of us have to put up, shut up, or be locked up. So America and Americans, y'all better stay frosty and keep your eyes open. We know the vast majority of you are going to fall in place. But some of us really enjoy our freedom. And some of us will fight for it.
This bro caught my last video and decided to call me ignorant because I asked the question why data centers can't just use reverse osmosis to create more water. Honey, if you only knew how right I actually was. You're playing checkers with the official science, and I'm out here trying to find the source code. Let's talk about these millions of gallons of water that they pull every single day. So the textbook answer is that they need it for what's called evaporative cooling to stop the scaling. And that's that crusty white mineral buildup that's going to choke the pipes. But why do they even need that much cooling? That's because the data centers aren't just storing your cloud photos. They're like the motherboards for this entire reality, and they're hardwired, like plugged in directly to the sun planet. Yeah, you heard me. That star in the sky, it's a high voltage reflective sphere. When you plug a planetary power core into a localized grid, the heat isn't just hot, it's this molecular meltdown. And this is where the RO comes in. They're not just filtering water, they're performing a biological data wipe. So by forcing millions of gallons through those membranes, they strip the water of its memory, if you will, and its minerals, because minerals act like tiny antennas that would pick up the simplex raw frequency and fry the hardware. They're creating null water. Now, that isn't about consuming a resource, I guess. It's about a multiplication loop. They take that purified empty liquid and cycle it at such a high velocity that it creates a thermal vacuum. So, I mean, you can call me ignorant if it helps you sleep. But while you're worrying about the plumbing, I'm watching them scrub the atoms of the planet just to keep the sky lamp from flickering. I really didn't trip over my words per se, I just bypassed your firewall. And if you guys really want to trip out, next time the sun is out, look at the sun, close your eyes, and tell me what you see.
I do that all the time. When I look at the sun and then I close my eyes, what I see is usually like 7 or 8 tiny little dots. And it's like all just random. But this is what I got to say about it. If water really is our consciousness and it's using up all the water, that's not good. And what if it's just going to end up coming down to who ends up with all the memory from Earth?
I just admitted that hackers got into the United States water system. 6 federal agencies, FBI, NSA, CISA, EPA, Energy Department, and Cyber Command all dropped the same notification today. Water systems, power grids, local governments, all getting hit right now. And it's not just breaking in and watching. They're changing what the screen shows. Operators are looking at dashboards that seem like everything's fine and working as expected. But the numbers are fake. The machines are doing something completely different from what they're reporting. It's not spying, it's sabotage. And it sounds a little bit like Stuxnet. The software that they're targeting is called Studio 5000. It's made by a company called Rockwell Automation. It controls the physical stuff like pumps, the valves, the generators. It's the equipment that moves the water and it keeps the lights on. And the controllers, a bunch of them are sitting on the open internet. I don't understand why a water pump is reachable from a browser. That's just kind of wild to me. And if you live in a city or near a city, some form of this infrastructure is near you. The attack had already hit local governments, water facilities, and energy systems all across the United States. We just don't know which ones. The advisory doesn't really say. What's important to understand, though, is that Iran is in water, power, local governments, and the operators that are watching those screens, some of them have no idea.
Without our consent, this billionaire AI executive is helping to build a world where you'll become irrelevant if you don't have AI implanted into your brain.
I think we're going to need some interlink or hookup between our brains directly to AI and the internet and all these things. It's going to be pretty critical if we want humans to remain relevant as AI keeps getting better.
But it gets worse because apparently we adults will become obsolete since we will not be able to keep up with kids who had AI implanted into their brains from birth.
I want to wait to have kids until we figure out how Neuralink or other, it's called brain computer interfaces, so other ways for brains to interlink with a computer until they start working. Kids who are born with them are going to learn how to use them in like crazy ways. Like it'll be actually like a part of their brain in a way that it'll never be true for an adult who gets like a Neuralink or whatever hooked into their brain.
And he makes the insanely disturbing admission that these AI brain implants will open us up to manipulation by corporations, governments, and terrorists who can attack our brains with mind reading and mind control.
The obvious thing is that some corporation hacks your brain. Well, it's a corporation hacks your brain, which even that's pretty bad, but that'll be like what? They'll like send ads directly to your brain, or they'll like make it so that you want to buy their products or whatnot. But then even worse, obviously, a foreign actor, a terrorist, an adversary, a state actor, hacks into your brain and takes your memories or takes, like manipulates you. Mind reading and mind control are like, those are the That is where the technology will go over time.
AI executives will lie and say this dangerous merging of human and AI is inevitable for all of us, but it's not. It's a choice they are making for all of us without our consent.
I keep telling y'all, you're going to wind up getting locked up for saying something that you're not supposed to be saying in these DMs on these social media apps. AI will tell on you. A teacher got pulled out of her classroom and arrested for a message that she sent on Snapchat. You heard what I just said? This teacher sent a message to her roommate, and AI felt the message was something that the FBI needed to hear, and guess what happened? Just what I said. The FBI came and locked us up. This teacher was teaching her class, doing a lesson. One of her students shut off her laptop while she was in the middle of the lesson, ruining her lesson plan. Of course, that probably made her mad. She texted her friend via Snapchat, and she said to her friend, "My student deleted my lesson plan for the day. Should I shoot him or not?" You can see how anybody would take that, right? Mind you, that was in privacy. That was in her messages on Snapchat. But AI read that. AI sent that directly to the FBI. And they came and handcuffed her and locked her up. Now you could say she shouldn't have sent that message. And she shouldn't have sent that message. Of course she should have known the seriousness of that. But her thinking that that's in the privacy of her chat, she sent it. She probably wouldn't even harm that student. But AI didn't think so. And she got arrested. But I'm betting you don't believe me, right? Look at
Hi, I'm Deputy Sean with the Sheriff's Office. Do you happen to have your phone on you?
I do, yeah.
Okay, do you want to hand that to me, please?
Yes.
Okay, the reason we're here is, have you been on Snapchat earlier today?
Yes, I was, yeah.
Okay, and so we got a call about a snap. So did you happen to make one today?
I did, yeah.
Any kids make you mad today?
No.
Nothing about your computer or anything like that?
She knows she's cooked right there.
I had a lesson plan, and one of the kids turned off my computer on my lesson plan. I was like, oh, dang, but I never get mad with the kids ever.
What did you snap after that? Did you send out?
No. What? I'm so confused.
So what I want to show you is the snap we received.
Oh, yes. But, okay, yes. This was a joke, though, but yes.
I'm going to leave you on that note.
Yeah, I mean, she definitely shouldn't have said that, but the fact that it's getting to that point is kind of crazy, because when is it gonna start happening with things that aren't like to that type of level and they just start coming to get you?
That's like far out in the ocean, and that's going fast as fuck. What is that? I can't zoom anymore.
Man, that thing is moving.
What the hell?
What kind of fish could move that quick?
It's not a jet ski.
Looks pretty long, too.
That's fucking crazy. Like, what is it? That shit's moving fast as hell.
I think this is North
like,
Carolina
it's out
or
there.
South Carolina.
But it's, oh shit. Definitely, oh, I lost it.
What swims at the surface
there.
like that fast?
So I was stepping outside my house and hear this bird, and it sounds like it's saying, "We need you, we need you, we need you." Listen. Tell me I'm lying.
It does sound like it.
What are you doing?
Oh, not the Waymo. Those things would be
Hey,
so
Waymo,
annoying.
please move. Waymo, please move. Alexa! Alexa!
Alexa!
Hey guys, this is Solar Death Ray. What do you think it will eat into first, this solid rock or an unopened plastic bottle of soda? Let's try the rock first. I think the results are going to surprise you. Put the rock here on the hot seat.
Within a second, it starts eating into the rock. There's rock shards flying off the surface. Big pieces are flying off now.
Man, that's
okay, I'll
like
take the solar
thing's
death ray off.
powerful.
And here you can see where it ate into the rock right there. It's pretty cool. I want to put that fly under the solar death ray, but I'd probably get canceled if I did that. Okay, so the next thing is this bottle of soda. Just make sure I've got this right. Whoa.
That was fast. That was really fast.
I guess the soda bottle went first compared to the rock. Oh my gosh.
So Trump is prepping the National Guard for a quick reaction force against crowds being uncontrolled. This is to be operational and deployable nationwide across all 50 states by April 2026. So that seems like something's about to happen. Now guys, watch this. We are going to have a dollar crisis, and they're getting a military police force to squash the riot. So the US dollar might crash, everybody might lose a lot of money, and obviously that would cause a big giant outrage, but the National Guard is going to be deployed in all 50 states to control the riots. It's just very weird. And let's say that isn't actually what's going to happen. Why would this be a conference, right? Something is going to happen where they're going to need the National Guard in all 50 states. I'm just giving y'all a heads up. Let me know what y'all think about this in the comments. What do you think's going to happen? Maybe something, they're going to do something crazy with Iran and everybody's going to hate it for some reason. So then, you know, but maybe we might nuke it. Like, dude, who knows, man? But what do y'all think? Let me know.
Now, what do you think's going to happen when civil war happens? There's going to be a bunch of dead bodies all over the place on both sides of the fence. How are they going to get rid of these bodies?
Dozers.
Eater robot. I don't know if you remember this.
We're about to give birth to a super intelligent life form. It's going to take over Earth, and we're either going to merge with it or going to be consumed by it.
Whoa.
You know what the Eater robot is? Have you ever heard of that?
No.
The Eater robot is, I think this is a DARPA program as well. They've developed a robot that is fueled by biological fuel, like biological waste, like bodies. Like you could use it on a battlefield, and it can consume bodies.
What?
Yeah, it consumes things for fuel. Yeah, it can consume plants, I think, too. But the implication is, when they said biological, I was like, oh, Jesus. Yeah. When you say biological, I don't think plants. I think like human beings, like dead bodies.
So here it is. It talks about the military-made robot that can eat organisms for fuel. Designers of Phase 1 engine stresses heavily. This robot is not designed to eat the dead, but we know it could.
Why do they even have to say that?
Because the implication.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like...
Look at that picture.
Yeah, so you know what it can do.
All I know is if I got ate by a robot, I'm mad.
And you know what everybody else is saying it can do. So you have to actually come on and say, yeah, it's not going to eat the dead. Don't worry.
He says this bot is strictly vegetarian.
The proof is in the pudding. That's the saying, right? That's why most of us do our own research on things we don't get answers for, like why they make tic-tac-toe boards out of the sky. Well, I've been looking into a subject that's just as confusing as that, and one that nobody's even paying attention to. And that's why basically everything glows under UV and fluorescent lights now, potentially including you. Sounds like a joke, but this is all recent discoveries. Talking house cats, frogs, salamanders, even owls. And it's happening everywhere. This is a frog in Brazil.
Could you imagine seeing a fluorescent
Black
owl?
light studies reveal most mammals secretly glow. 125 different species of mammal, including humans. And the explanations for why this is going on is different with each case. Some it's bone marrow, some it's their environment. But no real answer as to why all of a sudden things are just starting to glow. I mean, is it evolution? Has it always been this way? What do you think? Oh yeah, and before I go, has anybody ever told you about Operation Dew back in the early 50s? It's where they went to North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, and they sprayed 250 pounds of fluorescent particles on a bunch of unknowing citizens. I wonder what the result of that was. Y'all stay safe.
There's a theory that Star Wars is actually a simulation and part of the Matrix. In the Attack of the Clones, Kenobi is approached by a dude in the business of dealing death sticks. That character is played by Matt Duran, who plays Mouse in the Matrix. And then in the same scene, like 15 seconds later, Anakin's walking by everyone, and a woman pops into frame for a few seconds, gives a very seductive look to Anakin. That woman is Fiona Johnson, the woman in the red dress in the Matrix. Theory is that Mouse was just plugged into the Matrix and was just looking for a friend, and the red dress program is just doing her thing, trying to seduce important people that have power.
We have an odd video for you today, and this was actually captured by a man named Mike Parker. He was driving down a rural road when he saw something that he initially thought was a UFO. But here's the thing. He's driven down this road many times, and never has he seen this before. It looks like a gigantic dome. More than likely it's a tarp, but what is it covering? He doesn't know. And also this land, it's not owned by farmers or ranchers. It's actually U.S. agricultural restricted land. So what are they covering up? Take a look at this, comment below, tell me what you think.
I mean, that looks too smooth for a tarp. But that could just be the sun shining on it. Oh, what do you guys think they're hiding under there?
Military officials are claiming to have used an unprecedented new technology called Ghost Murmur in the rescue of a downed pilot in Iran, and the CIA is confirming the use of this technology for the first time. Described as a long-range heartbeat detection tool using quantum magnetometry and AI to isolate the electromagnetic signature of a single human body from miles away and across mountainous terrain. Some people are speculating that this technology was also used to track people like Maduro and target people within Iran. If this tech is real and can locate a downed airman in mountainous terrain, what else can it sense? The possibility of mapping out hidden bunker systems, tunnels, finding soldiers underground, and locating targets anywhere, anytime, any place in the world is a pretty powerful tool.
This is what happens when you shine a laser through an optical sphere, right? This and this are the same thing. I went full nerd on this one, but you gotta watch this. If you got a beam of light, white light coming from the sun, and it goes into a water droplet, it will reflect back to you at an angle. That angle is the side angle of the Great Pyramid. But the pyramid has 8 sides. You can only see this in the shadows. The angle that makes those is the angle of a double rainbow. You can easily prove this if you have a glass sphere, you shine light through it, overlay the pyramid on top of that. That would be a coincidence if the Great Pyramid was not on the latitude of the speed of light itself. We all learned in school that you can make white light with red, green, and blue. You can decompose that using a slit in a piece of paper. Phone displays use this to make every color that you see on your screen right now. But the shadows create cyan, magenta, and yellow, the same colors as the nekbet or vulture in Egypt.
So what if, because they say you can see 8 sides, but one of them's in the shadow. So what if the shadow one is the inverted one that you can't see? I don't know.
Our word horizon comes from Horus rising. Each day, Horus battles Set. That's where we get sunset. But in Egypt, Ra is the actual sun. Horus is the consciousness of sun on Earth. His temple is called Edfu. The text on the building is called the building text. The texts describe how the homeland of Horus got wiped out by a flood. Horus arrived in Egypt with his followers. They're called the Shemsu Hor. I think we're pretty clear that Horus is actually light. So the followers of Horus are called the Shining Ones, and there were 7 of them. This one's going to mess you up. So you remember the Noah legend? He releases a white dove and gets a rainbow over the mountains peeking out of the waters after a flood. Is that not insane? The myth is the vehicle that carries the info through time. I think it's for us.
For example, if you go to the UK, you know, a lot of their cities are called the new city.
Man,
and the old
I want to go over there so bad and see all those like old buildings, because over there they got a bunch of them and they look awesome.
city is from 600 years ago or 700 years ago, and it's deep down below. And they've shown this. They've actually dug down into the earth and they found another city. So same thing with the pyramids, you know, that's all sand. So you have to also wonder why the pyramids now have sand all around them, and all of the greenery from 1787, because that's when it used to be very green. That's the picture right there. Where did that all go? Right? And now you can say they did build the dam, so they have disconnected some of the water, right? That's one thing. But you look at that and you see a lot of greenery. So, you know, this is the thing. When you look at these pyramids, the pyramid itself is a preservation shape. I've actually gone into this. It's called the Book of the Secret Pyramids, and it's by Ed Petit, and it's a really cool one. And these shapes actually can preserve things indefinitely. If you put food in a pyramid, it can preserve it indefinitely. If you put apples, if you put fruit, if you put animals too, they noticed that they would just petrify. They actually wouldn't rot, and they wouldn't develop mold and all these things. So that I thought is really fascinating, and that was by the work of Ed Petit. And the Guide to Pyramid Energy, which is a phenomenal book on all the experiments done with pyramids.
What? That mask looks so real. There's no way. No! Did you see that mask? If she could do it, imagine what HW could do. I mean, we've seen the movies. We've seen that people are out here wearing these same masks. Who's this?
Who's this?
Who is this right here? Whose face is this? And who's holding that mask? Because that mask looks very real. I mean, we don't know who's who at this point, guys. That person that you've been chilling with that you feel funny about, make sure they're not wearing a mask. Because stuff like this scares people. This is what I heard. It don't scare me. I just know that it's a realistic mask. Who the hell is this guy? I don't know. But it seems like he's holding his own face. Wow. Things have changed. And you know what else has changed? Nothing. Because this video is for entertainment purposes only, guys. These are masks that people use for movies and things like that. Come on now, let's not take this overboard. Let me know if you ever seen somebody wearing a mask like this. And where did they get it from? Let me know. I'm out.
Neurodivergent people can hear their egos in their mind talking to them. This is different from the neurotypicals because the neurotypicals are their ego, so they don't hear their ego. Neurodivergent people are their soul's energy. And the soul lives in the nervous system. That's why we're more reactive.
Take a look again at the Space Needle. A year later, you had the destruction of the Twin Towers. Both buildings have a very strange aura around them. You have the 9/11 and you have the 3/11. Remember this guy? But do you know this one?
All right, our next speaker is James Home. He has what school did you graduate from?
Westview High School?
He just graduated from Westview High School and will be attending the University of California, Riverside. He will be majoring in neuroscience. His goals are to become a researcher and to make scientific discoveries.
And a major way humans learn is through action and effect relationships. And to simulate this on a computer, we have a key press as an action, and effect is the appearance of an image. And actions and effects have logical progressions through time. That is, effects proceed or seem simultaneous with the actions that cause them, unless we have a temporal order judgment reversal, which I just call the illusion. And in the illusion, the effect seems to precede the action that it causes. So subjectively, you're causing events to happen in the past. and to
So this guy was actually a very smart guy and working on some interesting stuff.
implement this illusion, we insert a series of gradual delays in between the actions and the effects. So we'd have a key press, and then a 10 millisecond delay, and then an image appearing, and then a key press, and then 20 millisecond, and then an image appears. And we keep doing this over and over again. And it would increase up to around 200 milliseconds. And we do this gradual delay incrementations to adapt the person to modify their perception of time. And then after we modify their perception of time, we completely remove the delay, and this causes the time illusion. And potential applications for this illusion are in reducing car accidents. And it might be possible to increase the reaction times of drivers.
Or maybe increase reaction time of football players.
Why does he look so short?
Two wonderful pieces of skill. First from Iniesta. Then we see Leo.
Per la dreta per Xavi. Assistència de Xavi més cap a la dreta per Messi. Messi. Immens Messi.
I've never really liked soccer.
Encara Messi.
Or football.
Gol.
Any questions?
Yes, James. Why are you making that strange movement on your shoulder?
Unless we have a temporal order judgment reversal. Temporal order judgment reversal. Temporal order judgment reversal. Any questions?
Well, yes, James. We know that television can create a delay in time. And you said...
And in the illusion, the effect seems to precede the action that it causes. So subjectively, you're causing events to happen in the past.
You create events in the past. Subjectively. So that means it's not real. So this animation would have been made after the election of Trump. But for some reason we saw it in the year 2000.
Crazy stuff.
What about this one? The Mandela effect. Let's have an example. In the year 2000, the VW sign is black, and in 2015 they change it into red. But in the year 2000, because of this delay, you perceive the black VW as being red. That would mean that we would perceive certain events 15 years ahead of them really happening. So now we are in 2015 and the delay drops away. So at that moment you say, hey, I remember VW being black. It would be useful, of course, to know which events are presenting themselves ahead of time.
The outcome of the CAPS pandemic in Event 201 was catastrophic. 65 million people died in the first 18 months. The outbreak was small at first and initially seemed controllable, but then it started spreading in densely crowded and impoverished neighborhoods of megacities.
What if some people thought that this was a predictive moment? So Bill thought it was his lucky day. It was going to happen, finally.
Any questions?
Well, yeah, James, it's something you said on your trial. Let's listen.
For the people in the theater, his targets.
What do people feel when they're experiencing that? Terror, I would say. Okay.
He called what he did a mission. How did he want to be remembered?
As mentally ill or different from the norm. How else? Being successful with the mission.
The mission? That reminds me of the movie 12 Monkeys, where a guy is going back in time, trying to stop a virus from being released. But this guy is called James Cole. Now let's presume that the movie 12 Monkeys was a predictive moment. Let's presume that James Holmes is doing some experiments with his technique and he discovers a future event. Someone wants to exterminate a large part of the human race, and only he can stop it. Now he becomes the leading role in a situation he created himself by looking into the future. Maybe he had to go back to the future to repair the situation. "12 monkeys, 12 zodiac signs. That reminds me of the moon. The key is in the moon. Remember from a previous video that the 30 moon phases that are actually a month we experience in reality as one day. So we experience a day 30 times faster than the clock is showing us. Are we living in the future? And is reality bleeding through in the form of the past? Or are we living in the past and is reality bleeding through the future?
I don't know about you guys, but this type of stuff is so interesting to me because when you look at when the Mandela effect started, it was in 2009, and the iPhone came out in 2007. The Android came out a year later in 2008. So it seems to coincide with when the smartphones came out. And who knows exactly what these screens are really doing to our perception of time, because you got TVs, computers, and phones. So what if us being able to look at information instantly now is affecting stuff in the future or in the past? Because as before, you couldn't look up all this information and get it instantly. I don't know. It's just, it's fun to think about. And with the whole moon clock thing, if anybody was confused about that, so you have the moon phases and it's a monthly cycle. But if the moon is a reflection of Earth and that's where we're living, we actually experience it in one day as a night and day cycle, if that makes sense. But alright, you guys, that's going to be it for the video today. If you made it all the way to the end, don't forget to leave a like, comment, or subscribe, you know, stuff like that. Let me know what you guys think. Thank you guys for all the comments and all the support. I love all you guys. But yeah, that's pretty much it for today. Make sure you guys stay safe out there, and I'll catch you on the next one. Later.